Every now and again, a pairing comes along that makes absolute perfect sense. De Niro and Pacino, Damon and Affleck, Deadpool and Spider-Man. Despite being tasked with saving the world over and over again, superheroes are still humans. Well, most of them are at least. But human or not, these characters all have friends, and have bonded to bromance level status with some of their costumed peers. Here are Screen Rant's 10 Marvel superhero bromances that actually happened. If you have fun watching our video, why don't you web swing on over to that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome videos like this one. And before we start, can you guess this movie from these emojis? Stay tuned for the answer at the end of our video.
I thought you were dead. I thought you were smaller.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier. You know you're destined to be bros for life when you wake up 70 odd years later and make it your life's mission to save your once presumed dead friend and protect him from the clutches of the law and evil Nazi cults. Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes were childhood friends who grew up together in Brooklyn before the Second World War. Despite being scrawny and weak, he found kinship with the dashing Bucky Barnes, and the two were inseparable, even during the war when Captain America disobeyed orders and saved a group of soldiers, including the injured Barnes. Even though Barnes was presumed dead, he would reunite with Cap in the 21st century, and unfortunately they would come to blows. Despite Bucky being a mind-controlled assassin, Cap did his best to bring his friend back, and eventually succeeded in doing so. He later did his best to protect Barnes from both international authorities and from Iron Man, who was out on a vendetta against the former assassin. We think Cap and Bucky may set the bar for what bros would do for each other.
You're going to have to do for me what I once did for you. Lead me, guide me.
Wolverine and Professor X. After the world apparently fell apart, longtime buddies Logan and Charles Xavier hit the road and went into hiding south of the border. These two hit it off from the moment they met each other, with Logan finding a mentor and a friend in the telepathic professor. There may be an age difference between the two of them, with Logan being Charles' senior and all, but when you're bros, age is only a number. Charles helped Logan piece together his terrible past, while also acting as a much-needed friend. When old age came knocking for the two of them, Logan did his best to take care of the professor, despite being unsure as to how exactly to take care of anyone. We figure he tried his best given his unstable condition, but when crisis came a-callin', the first and only priority was the protection of his oldest friend. When that becomes instinct number one, you know you're bros. Luke Cage and Iron Fist. It's only a matter of time before one of comic books' favorite bromances makes its way to the small screen. Making up half of the Defenders, Luke Cage and Iron Fist first hit it off in the 1970s in the comics, during a time when kung fu and blaxploitation were quite popular. Despite having the foundations, the two characters were not a big hit initially. So what happens when you bring two unpopular forces together into the same room? They obviously create the biggest bromance the 70s has ever seen on paper, and generate sales. Unlike most superhero teams such as the Avengers or the X-Men, the Defenders don't have much in the way of superpowers, relying often on their superior fighting skills that have been enhanced in some way, shape, or form. This ends up feeling like an old buddy cop film in comic book form.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Iron Man and Hulk. When he's not stealing the limelight as a genius, billionaire, playboy philanthropist, Tony Stark can be found talking scientific theory with his buddy Bruce Banner, the only person who's on the same intellectual level as him. Over their love of science, the two have formed a super bromance that may have been too trusting, as the ever-cautious Bruce Banner helped Tony Stark create the giant murder bot known as Ultron. Well hey, only best friends forever accidentally create Earth-ending situations, and only best friends stick around to clean up the mess. I mean, Thor went straight for the one-arm choke against Tony. We don't think there's any bromance going on there. But Thor may end up stealing the thunder from Dr. Banner as they team up for the events of Thor Ragnarok.
You have the most powerful brain in the world, Professor. But the mind can only stretch so far before it snaps.
Professor X and Magneato. They may be sworn enemies, but there's no denying that Charles Xavier's intellectual and spiritual other half is Eric Lehnsherr, otherwise known as Magneto. The two met in the 1960s and have stuck with each other over the decades, despite constantly fighting and arguing. Even when Magneto gets imprisoned for trying to turn normal humans into mutants, Charles Xavier is there for his friend, stopping by regularly to play a round of chess with the imprisoned supervillain. They may often come to blows, may even hate each other at the best of times, but only true bros can eventually put that behind them in the end and team up to save the world. Daredevil and the Punisher. What happens when you only have one friend? Well, that friend becomes your bro, which is the case for Frank Castle and Matt Murdock. They may not always get along, but the two have an understanding of the world that most other people just don't see. Get it? See? They may disagree on ethics and morality, but in the end, both vigilantes want the same thing, which gives the Punisher someone to confide his thoughts to. He may not realize it, but Daredevil is extremely important to the well-being of the Punisher. With their rapport, the two try to keep each other out of harm's way, both from criminals and from the clutches of the police department. The Punisher even once traded his life for Daredevil's in the comics. Way to take one for the team, Punisher.
You're welcome.
The Warriors 3. Unlike the rest of the pairings on our list, this bromance comes from a trio of battle-hardy Asgardian warriors. Comprised of Fandral, Hogan, and Volstagg, the dynamic trio are always ready for battle, and a drink, not necessarily in that order. The Warriors 3 often head into battle with the almighty Thor and the Lady Sif, making one of the greatest fighting forces in the cosmos. The trio enjoy recounting their tales in bars and taverns across Asgard, often exaggerating their tales to make them seem even more spectacular than they already are. No matter what the task at hand is, these three will do anything for each other, even if that means springing a supervillain out of jail, or disobeying the direct orders of Odin himself to bring Thor back to Asgard. Through thick and thin, these brave warriors will always have each other's backs.
We're still friends, right?
Depends on how hard you hit me.
Hawkeye and Black Widow. Not every bromance has to be between two dudes. In fact, one of the biggest bromances out there in the Marvel Universe comes from the friendship between Hawkeye and Black Widow. They may be strapped for superpowers, but together these two make one hell of a team. The two have a long history, which was established after Natasha Romanoff left the dark and dangerous employment of the Russian government. She eventually met up with Clint Barton and joined S.H.I.E.L.D., slowly changing the purpose of her life and erasing the red in her ledger. She owes a lot to Clint, and he's one of the few people the former assassin actually trusts. You know you're on bromance levels of friendship when you're in the know about the secret family that nobody else knows about.
We are Groot.
Rocket Raccoon and Groot.
I am Groot.
That was Groot speak for You're My Best Friend, which is exactly what the dynamic duo Rocket Raccoon and Groot are. The two buddies travel across the galaxy as bounty hunters, catching unsavory individuals and trading them in for some hard-earned cash. Despite Groot only being able to speak 3 words, Rocket actually understands the meaning behind every different iteration of I am Groot, which must mean the world to him. Imagine if no one else could really understand him and Groot was left all alone, unable to communicate. Yeah, we got sad just thinking of it too. That's why Rocket Raccoon and Groot are meant to be, and have the most intergalactic bromance out there. They stick together no matter what.
So you got a hold on to love. Tight.
Deadpool and Spider-Man. We don't think it can get any more bromance than these two. I mean, just look at them. In case you didn't know, Deadpool was initially based on Spider-Man's concept model, so these two are about as close to being ink brothers as you can get. When not dishing out the pain on the scum and villainy of the world, these two are cracking one-liners like it's nobody's business. A more recent comic publication saw Spider-Man questioning the dark and gritty nature of modern superhero films, to which Deadpool replied that he would not do his own movie unless it was R-rated. Wade Wilson is known for being immature and silly, but Peter Parker seems to bring out the child in the Canadian super mutant, which makes their bromance all the more special. They're funny, and they're clearly besties, despite having completely different views on, well, just about everything. Those are our picks for 10 Marvel superhero bromances that actually happened. Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite superhero bromance? Whatever it is, let us know in the comments section below. The fun never stops here though, as there is even more awesome content over at CBR, so head on over that way for even more geeky videos. Thanks for watching.